Ibrahim, peace be upon him, in the temple of idols. Ibrahim started his heavenly mission and so addressed his people, "What are these inanimate statues before which you have knelt down?" They said, "Our fathers had been worshipping idols, and we do just as our fathers did." Abraham said, "You and your fathers have all been misled." They said, "Have you brought us true words, or are you making fun of us?" Abraham said, "There is the unique God, who is the creator of earth and heavens, and the supervisor of all their affairs." When Abraham noticed that people did not accept to leave idolatry, he decided to break idols and prove their inability and weakness. At the time of festivity, when all the people had to leave the city, Abraham feigned illness and stayed home. When he found the city deserted of people and the temple of idols without any guards, he easily stepped in the idol temple and walked around. Idols were decorated with different ornaments and were placed all around the idol temple. Abraham, who was determined in carrying out his mission, shattered all the idols except the big one, which had put his axe in its hand. People, having performed these ceremonies, returned to the city, but when they saw the mess in the temple, as well as the broken idols, they became so sad and angry. You could hear some saying, "We know the young man who's done this. He is the one who always insults the idols. His name is Abraham. He believes it's foolish to worship idols, and he reproaches us for doing that. We believe he has broken our idols." They sent for Abraham, brought him to the temple, and asked him, "Have you broken our idols?" Abraham answered firmly, "How do you know? Maybe the big idol has done so with the other idols. It is better to ask him and get reassured, of course, if he is able to answer your question." People said, "But idols cannot talk and answer." Abraham immediately said, "Instead of great God, you worship something which has no use or harm for you and cannot even answer you. Shame upon you and what you worship." No one could give any answer to what Abraham said, and so they all became quiet and started to think about what had happened. Accusing Abraham of breaking the idols, Namrud's followers decided to revenge Abraham and set him on fire. They believed Abraham's deed was a public offense, and so everybody should cooperate in getting revenge. Therefore, everyone started gathering some firewood. Soon after a heap of firewood was prepared, they set it on fire and made a huge fire out of it in the middle of the desert. The dancing flames of fire were so outstretched and hot that nobody could even approach it, so they used a big catapult to throw Abraham into fire to console themselves and decrease their rage. At first Abraham disappeared in the fire, and people, thinking that he was burnt, started to shout happily. But it was through God's will that the flames of fire became cold for Abraham and did not burn him, so he reappeared unhurt. Namrud and his followers, who were watching Abraham unbelievably, realized that fire had done no harm to Abraham. While they were all gazing admiringly at this heavenly miracle and sign of God, they understood the truth of Abraham's invitation and the truthfulness of his words and claims. After Abraham was unbelievably saved from that huge fire, Namrud's followers, and especially he himself, became very much surprised by this divine miracle. So Namrud called Abraham and asked him, "Who is this God that you invite people to and you want them to worship?" Abraham said, "My God is one who puts an end to the life of people and revives them. He is the one who dominates the lives of all living creatures." Namrud replied, "This is nothing. I can also kill and revive people. Do you want to know how? I'll show you right away. Just watch it. You guards, bring those 2 prisoners who have been condemned to death. Hurry up." When they were both brought to his presence, Namrud ordered to kill one and set free the other. Then he turned to Abraham and said victoriously, "Did you notice how I can put people to death or grant life to anyone I wish?" Namrud himself knew this was not the truth. He wanted to burn Abraham, but God saved him from the burning fire. Abraham replied, "My God is the one who makes the sun rise from the east every morning. Now you make it rise from the west if you can." Namrud, who was denying the truth, had no other answer. He released Abraham, but sent him out of town, lest people would come to believe in his God and follow him. Thus Abraham set out for Syria.